Greetings, Summerlin Area Command. I'm your captain, Sasha Larkin. Thanks so much for joining us today on our very first virtual First Tuesday, also known as Cinco de Mayo, and a day after May the 4th be with you. And I would also be so remiss if I didn't acknowledge that today we have a very exciting partnership with a friend of mine of 21 and a half years, and I know that because we went through the police academy together, Captain George Warner, who's the commander of Enterprise Area Command. We decided that since we share a boundary line, that we wanted to join forces today and let our teams do virtual First Tuesday together. So we're very excited to bring you not one, but two area commands. So you get double your pleasure, double the fun for virtual First Tuesday. Burglaries are down across the valley. We're really excited about that. And you might be wondering, is it just due to your stellar police work, Captain Larkin? Well, I wish we could take all the credit, but you guys have been home. You've been home, so burglaries have gone down significantly. And as a matter of fact, burglaries are down in Summerlin almost 43%. So good job locking your cars, good job locking your homes, and a couple of good things are working. Now let me tell you on burglaries where we're still falling a little short. You guys are still leaving your guns in your cars. As a matter of fact, almost 20% of our stolen guns were stolen out of unlocked cars. So you gotta lock your cars. Your gun does not protect your center console of your car when you're not in it. So please, take it inside, practice responsible gun ownership, lock up your guns.
Our area commands, front offices are open starting today. If you do want to make a station report, make sure you wear a mask. They're going to be taking your temperature as well. And also the Fingerprint Bureau and the Evidence Vault is open today as well.
My name is Bill Gibbs. I'm manager of the Police Employee Assistance Program, Peep. And what is Peep? Peep is not just a Easter candy. It's the Police Employee Assistance Program. One of the roles we have is we're tasked with the mental health and well-being of our police officers. Officers that are involved in critical incidents, such as officer-involved shootings, they suffer a lot of the isolation that you folks are all enduring right now as a public. They are placed on administrative leave. They're kind of on an island on their own for a little bit. And these are tips that we help get them through that. And like I said before, I think it translates perfectly into what you guys are going through now with the coronavirus. Social distancing. Very important. But remember, it's not emotional distancing, okay? You can still remain in touch with your friends, with your family. And you've probably found out a lot of ways of how to do this already. One of them right now, we're doing through Facebook. That's a very important way and a very easy way for you guys to stay in touch. Telephone, computer conversations, Zoom, all the ones that go with that. You can stay in touch without actually being in physical contact with another person, and that's very important. Sticking to a routine. Exercise and physical activity, again, you want to do those activities that are going to not put you at risk for becoming hospitalized. Some of the more risky things, skydiving, even bicycling, you have to be careful because you don't want to eat up the resources of our trauma units and our emergency beds. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Sleep is number one. Now, she tells us that you need to set aside 10 hours of sleep a night. Learning and intellectual engagement, positive family time. We've all complained, myself included, that you've never had enough positive time to spend with your family because of the stresses of work. Many of us now have an opportunity to spend more time with our families. So we need you to take advantage of that, focus on that, and appreciate that time with your families right now, because this situation that we're in right now, it will pass. And you don't want to have those missed opportunities where you could have really bonded as a family and become tighter. Alone time. We talked about the isolation and not wanting to be isolated, but there's nothing wrong with spending some alone time to reflect on your life, to better yourself. Lastly, I'm going to tell you to limit your exposure to television. If you tend to watch too much television, you might engross yourself in that, fixate on that, get depressed about it, which is understandable. It's the sad, depressing news that makes the news, right? Look out for one another, care for one another. We are responsible for one another. Check in on those that isolate and be supportive of all your fellow employees, all your fellow citizens, and please be supportive of our police officers that hit the streets and do their best to serve you under these very trying times. And I appreciate your time.
Hello, Summerlin Area Command. I'm the day shift lieutenant, Lieutenant Michelle Tavares, and I'm very honored to be able to announce that the employees that we have chosen to recognize for this month's First Tuesday come from day shift. So let me introduce you to Officer Mays. Hi.
How are you?
Officer Black.
Hello.
And Officer Allen. I'm going to go ahead and read to you and explain what it is that these three amazing officers did. On April 27th, Officer Black, Officer Mays, and Officer Allen were all involved in a vehicle stop regarding a moped with a stolen license plate. The driver was on probation with Nevada Parole and Probation for possession of stolen vehicle. During a search incident to arrest, officers located narcotics on the subject. Due to the subject's probationary status, P&P responded to conduct a home and electronic search. Officers and P&P responded to the location and determined it was being used as a narcotics residence. During parole and probation's search of the residence, it was determined the main subject had established a fraud lab in his room. After an electronic search was conducted, it was determined the subject was also selling narcotics out of an RV parked behind the residence on Cimarron Avenue. The RV contained an additional fraud lab as well as narcotics. Financial crimes detectives executed a telephonic search warrant for the residence and the RV, recovering 2 fraud labs along with more narcotics. Ultimately, numerous felony arrests were made and criminal offenders who caused major problems in our area were removed from the street. You 3 officers are to be commended for your outstanding teamwork, your extensive investigative prowess, and relentless follow-up.
Good afternoon. I'm Detective Juan Fernandez from the Family Justice Center. I just wanted to give you a little bit of history with the Family Justice Center. It's a one-stop shop for victims of domestic violence, human trafficking, and sexual assault. And the idea behind this is to get a lot of resources under one roof so that victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking don't have to go to different areas to get the help and the resources that they need. We are located at 861 North Mojave Road, Las Vegas, Nevada. And we are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. With COVID and everybody being in the house, not being able to get help or to be able to talk to those other people, we see the rise in crime. Very important for victims of domestic violence to reach out for help. There's family members or friends that they could reach out to, and if we are those family members and friends, we need to be able to help them out and guide them. Some of the things you could do as a friend is reach out to individual that you think is a victim of domestic violence and ask them if they need any help, or give them a phone number for any of these resources. The Family Justice Center phone number is 702-828-7714.
Good afternoon, Summerlin Area Command. I'm Lieutenant Ken Romaine. I'm the swing shift lieutenant here at Summerlin Area Command. With me is Sergeant Wojcik and Officer Jovan Magazine. Today I have the distinct pleasure of honoring Officer Magazine for his heroic actions. On April 18th, 2020, at approximately 12:42 hours, Officer Jovan Magazine was going to work at Summerlin Area Command to complete paperwork before the start of his shift. While in the area of Hacienda and Durango, Officer Magazine realized a scooter was down in the roadway ahead of him. He slowed down to investigate and observed a female lying down in the roadway a short distance from the scooter. Officer Magazine immediately stopped his vehicle to block traffic and render aid. As he approached the female, he observed that her left leg had been severed above the knee. Knowing the female was in dire need of medical attention, Officer Magazine ran back to his vehicle while simultaneously calling 911 and grabbed his personal tourniquet. The victim was bleeding profusely, but after Officer Magazine quickly and properly applied the tourniquet, causing the bleeding to stop, she was eventually transported by ambulance to UMC Trauma. The initial medical assessment on scene was that the victim would possibly die as a result of her injuries. However, Dr. Frazier, who was the administering physician, stated that the tourniquet was applied properly and there was no bleeding upon the victim's arrival at the trauma center. Subsequently, the victim was later listed in stable, non-life-threatening condition. Officer Magazine is hereby commended for his heroic actions on this day because his specific actions saved a human life.
If you take anything away from today, know this. Know that you are never alone. Your police department is here 24/7 if you should need anything. And now that our front offices are back open, please know that you're always able to come in 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We're still doing online reports, all of these things here for your convenience. We thank you so much for tuning in today. Captain Warner, any final thoughts?
Stay safe, stay healthy.
That's it. We hope that you know we will see you as soon as we're able to open our area commands. We look forward to having an in-person first Tuesday as soon as we're able to. And remember, one breath at a time, one day at a time, we will all get through this. It's just a temporary inconvenience. But remember, excellence, it all starts with